The Enfield Monster. Once upon a time, in the quiet, picturesque town of Enfield, Illinois, nestled among the rolling hills and lush greenery of the American heartland, a strange and eerie mystery unfolded. It was the spring of 1973, a time when life was simpler, and the small-town atmosphere was tranquil, untouched by the chaos of the modern world. The residents of Enfield were hardworking and close-knit, with deep roots in the community that spanned generations. They were not prepared for what would soon descend upon their peaceful town. It all began on a mild April evening when a local couple, Henry and Clara Simmons, were enjoying a leisurely walk along the country roads that meandered through the countryside. The sun was setting, casting a warm, golden hue over the fields of corn and the homes that dotted the landscape. As the couple strolled hand in hand, they suddenly heard an unsettling noise coming from the nearby woods. It was a high-pitched, otherworldly squeal that sent shivers down their spines. The couple froze, their hearts racing, and their eyes were drawn to a peculiar sight emerging from the tree line. A strange, white, and hairy figure with 3 legs was approaching them. Its small, heart-shaped, pink face seemed out of place on its otherwise monstrous and grotesque form. Henry and Clara stood in shock as the creature drew nearer, its unsettling wails filling the air. Terrified, they turned and fled, racing back to their home and alerting their friends and neighbors. The news spread like wildfire through the close-knit community, and soon, everyone in Enfield was abuzz with curiosity and fear. Over the next few days, more sightings were reported. The Enfield Monster, as it came to be known, was described by witnesses as a 5-foot-tall, bipedal creature that looked like something out of a science fiction nightmare. It was covered in white or grayish hair, had 3 legs, and emitted those spine-chilling squeals. Many witnesses claimed to have seen it lurking in the woods, crossing roads, or even scratching cars and houses with its sharp claws. Local law enforcement was inundated with calls from concerned residents. Skeptics and believers alike gathered in the town, hoping to catch a glimpse of the creature. The news of the Enfield Monster sighting soon reached the media, and the story made headlines across the country. As the town's residents debated whether they were dealing with a genuine cryptid or a clever prankster, a team of investigators descended upon Enfield. Cryptozoologists, paranormal researchers, and journalists all flocked to the area to uncover the truth behind the enigmatic creature. The investigators conducted extensive searches of the woods, set up motion-activated cameras, and interviewed the witnesses. Despite their efforts, they could find no concrete evidence of the Enfield Monster's existence. No hair samples, footprints, or clear photographs could confirm the creature's presence. As the weeks passed, the excitement and fear that had gripped the town began to wane. Some believed that it had all been a hoax, while others thought it was a case of mass hysteria. The Enfield Monster slowly faded from public consciousness, and life in the town returned to normal. Today, the legend of the Enfield Monster lives on as a mysterious and unsolved part of local folklore. Though the sightings remain unexplained, the people of Enfield have learned to embrace the mystery that briefly touched their lives in the spring of 1973. And while the Enfield Monster may have vanished into the annals of the unknown, its legend still lingers, a testament to the enduring power of the unexplained and the mysteries that haunt the human imagination. The Axe Murder House. In a small, quiet town in rural Iowa, there stood a house that had earned itself a chilling reputation over the years. This house, known to locals as the Axe Murder House, bore witness to a gruesome and haunting event that would forever scar the community's memory. The house, a simple 2-story farmhouse, had been a source of pride for the Moore family. Josiah and Sarah Moore, along with their 4 children, moved into the house in the early 20th century. The Moores were well liked in the town of Villisca, and they were known for their active involvement in church activities and community events. They had everything a family could wish for: a comfortable home, friends, and a close-knit community. However, the serenity of this idyllic life was shattered one fateful summer night in 1912. On June 9th, darkness fell over Villisca, Iowa, as a heavy storm brewed in the distance. The townsfolk were awakened by the distant rumble of thunder and the sound of pouring rain. But what awaited them in the morning light would haunt the community for generations. Josiah and Sarah Moore, along with their 4 children, Herman, Catherine, Boyd, and Paul, had been brutally murdered in their beds. The horrific crime scene was discovered by Mary Peckham, a neighbor who was checking on the family after they failed to attend church services that morning. As news of the gruesome murders spread through the town, fear and panic gripped the community. The entire Moore family had been bludgeoned to death with an axe, their skulls crushed and faces unrecognizable. The killer had also murdered 2 young girls, Ina and Lena Stillinger, who had been spending the night at the Moore house. The murder weapon, an axe, was found at the scene, its wooden handle smeared with the victim's blood. As the authorities launched an investigation into the gruesome murders, the community lived in fear. People locked their doors, and rumors and suspicions ran rampant. Townsfolk spoke of dark omens and suspected a local drifter, but the true identity of the killer remained a mystery. The Villisca Axe Murder House, as it would come to be known, remained a silent witness to the gruesome events of that night. It sat empty for years, with nobody willing to purchase or inhabit the house where such unspeakable horrors had taken place. Over the years, tales of paranormal activity and ghostly apparitions began to circulate. Locals reported hearing strange sounds, experiencing eerie sensations, and even witnessing the ghostly figures of the murdered family. The Axe Murder House became the stuff of local legend, a place that few dared to approach after nightfall. In 1994, the house was purchased and restored by a historical society, and it was open to the public as a museum and tourist attraction. Visitors could take guided tours, exploring the very rooms where the Moore family and their guests met their tragic end. Paranormal enthusiasts flocked to the house in search of evidence of the supernatural, while others came to pay their respects to the victims. The Villisca Axe Murder House served as a grim reminder of the past, a place where the line between history and horror blurred. The unsolved murders continued to captivate the public's imagination, inspiring books, documentaries, and countless ghost stories. To this day, the small town of Villisca, Iowa, bears the weight of a dark and enduring mystery, and the Axe Murder House remains a place where the past lingers, whispering its secrets to those who dare to listen. The disappearance of Amy Mihaljevic. It was a chilly autumn day in Bay Village, Ohio, on October 27, 1989, when 10-year-old Amy Mihaljevic disappeared, setting into motion a haunting and enduring mystery that would grip the small town and the nation. Amy was a bright and cheerful young girl, known for her infectious smile and auburn hair that seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. She lived a seemingly normal life with her mother, Margaret, and her brother, Jason. Bay Village, a peaceful suburban community on the shores of Lake Erie, was the kind of place where everyone knew their neighbors, and crime was a rarity. But on that fateful Friday afternoon, as Amy left school, something extraordinary happened. She was last seen at the Bay Square Plaza, a local shopping center, where she had gone to meet a man who had called her on the phone. The caller, who claimed to be a friend of her mother's, told Amy that they would be going to pick out a surprise gift for her mother. Young and trusting, Amy agreed to meet this stranger. Hours passed, and when Amy failed to return home, her mother, Margaret, grew frantic. She immediately contacted the police, sparking a massive search effort in and around Bay Village. The community rallied, and volunteers combed through the town, hanging up posters and distributing flyers with Amy's photo. Her case quickly gained nationwide media attention, but despite their best efforts, Amy remained missing. Months turned into years, and hope began to wane as the Mihaljevic family endured the agony of not knowing what had happened to their beloved daughter and sister. The FBI became involved in the investigation, but despite their extensive resources and countless leads, the case went cold. In February 1990, a shocking discovery sent shivers through the community. Amy's remains were found in a field in eastern rural Ashland County, Ohio, some 50 miles away from Bay Village. The discovery raised more questions than answers, as investigators now had to determine how Amy had been transported from her hometown to this remote location and who was responsible for her abduction and murder. The case of Amy Mihaljevic remained a grim unsolved puzzle that haunted Bay Village and left an indelible mark on law enforcement. The mystery deepened when it was revealed that another girl, a 9-year-old named Jillian Bay, had received a phone call from a man claiming to be a co-worker of her mother's, just days before Amy's disappearance. The similarities were chilling, and law enforcement began to suspect that Amy's case might not be an isolated incident. The Amy Mihaljevic case is one of those enduring mysteries that continues to haunt not just Bay Village but also the collective consciousness of the nation. The unknown man who called Amy on that autumn day in 1989, luring her away from the safety of her hometown, remains a faceless, sinister figure who shattered the peace of a close-knit community. The tragedy of Amy Mihaljevic's disappearance is a poignant reminder of the dangers that can lurk in even the safest places, and the enduring pain experienced by families when their loved ones vanish without a trace. Her story serves as a testament to the resilience of families, the dedication of law enforcement, and the persistent hope that one day, the truth will be revealed and justice served. Until then, the mystery of Amy Mihaljevic will continue to cast a long and chilling shadow over Bay Village.